Hi there guys and welcome to Dino's Vault once again. Today I review the Bajaj V15, one of the most anticipated bikes to come out this year, and that's the case with almost any launch from Bajaj. Now V stands for Vikrant, and right from its first promo the emphasis has been loud and clear that by launching V15, Bajaj want the INS or the Indian naval ship Vikrant to live on forever in the heart and mind of every Indian. For those who aren't aware, HMS Hercules was actually commissioned by the British Navy during World War II, but the war ended before the ship was completely built. India purchased the incomplete ship, completed it, christened it as INS Vikrant, and commissioned it to the Indian Navy in the year 1961. INS Vikrant was our nation's first aircraft carrier that served the nation fearlessly for nearly 4 decades, protecting and shielding the borders from any sort of enemy infiltration. When I looked at the bike in flesh for the first time, I could easily relate to Bajaj's noble intent of not only immortalizing a legend but also resurrecting a timeless hero. Bajaj has always been a trendsetter of sorts by introducing various biking cultures like that of the street fighters, cruisers, super sport, or even adventure sport to the masses here in India. Now we see Bajaj again launching a whole new breed of motorcycles. We cannot call it a cafe racer, nor can we call it a scrambler. Bajaj chose to call it a neo-classic design concept. This bike, in my opinion, falls into the retro naked category like the Yamaha XSR series, the BMW R90, or even the Ducati Scrambler. Now, the reason I equate it to the Scrambler is because of the tread pattern that its tires carry. You see that these are kind of on-road, off-road tires. Also, we get an 18-inch front wheel and a 16-inch rear wheel, so this bike does come across as a pretty versatile performer. Now, taking a look at its design, the bike looks absolutely amazing and very promising. It has to be the best built bike to date in this price range. It even looks much better than some of the bikes found higher up in the segment. Fit and finish and overall build quality is top notch. The headlamp looks imposing and striking, lending it a powerful presence. The chrome surround on the headlamp looks nice and premium. The blackened front visor makes the bike look even classier. Side on, we see that the fuel tank and the side panels look very well designed and do carry the typical retro feel. Now, there's no official claim as to where the metal from the INS Vikrant has been used on the bike, but online reports claim that a small portion of metal from the warship is used in the bike's fuel tank. The 5 twin-spoke alloy wheels look stunning and really elevate the overall look and feel of the bike. The rear cowl is of great quality, and with the rear cowl in place, the bike feels like a retro racer. We also get underseat grab bars that are well positioned and look awesome. The exhaust too gets a retro and classic styling, and the exhaust note is unique and quite different when compared to that of other Bajaj bikes we've seen so far. At the back, we have the stunning looking LED tail lamp that looks nice and gorgeous and carries that jewel effect. The premium textured seat is neatly laid out and offers supreme comfort. The instrument cluster is all analog, going with the classic theme of the bike, and I believe it comes with color changing LED illumination. We get a speedometer, odometer, and a fuel gauge. The switchgear is of good quality. We do get a high beam flasher, but we do not get an engine kill switch. Now this is how the key looks, and I know you're noticing those projections on the key. Now that is a hex key or an Allen key driver provided such that we can attach and detach the rear cowl easily, as you can see for yourself. The rear cowl, when in place, simply encases the rear portion of the seat, and the seat is indeed very comfortable to ride for the rider as well as the pillion. Talking about the engine specs, Bajaj claim it to be an all-new 150cc engine. We get a single-cylinder air-cooled 4-stroke 149.5cc DTSI engine that puts out a max power of 12 PS at 7500 rpm and 13 Newton meters of torque at 5500 rpm. This comes mated to a 5-speed gearbox. Talking about my test ride experience, first of all, the seating posture is absolutely spot on. It is mighty comfortable. The nice and wide handlebar along with the slightly forward set rider foot pegs offer a nice and relaxed and comfortable seating posture. What is really unbelievable is price wise it is positioned even below the likes of Yamaha SZRR version 2.0, which is just a basic 150cc commuter. The engine packs a punch. It is nice and refined. The throttle response is crisp. The bike itself is agile and swift and responsive right from the word go. I like the fact that we get a heel and toe gear shifter, which makes things that much more convenient. The gear shift pattern is all up despite it having a 5-speed gearbox. The clutch wasn't all that hard and the gear shifts were quite smooth. I can assure you that you will love flicking this bike around on the city streets. Maneuverability and flickability is as best as it can get. Now this can be attributed to the fact that it weighs just 135.5 kgs. Attention on the streets is guaranteed with its drop dead gorgeous looks. The bike just looks so fresh and so out of the ordinary. Talking about the brakes, we get a 240mm disc up front and 130mm drum brake at the rear. Braking is decent enough for a bike in its category. Talking about the suspension, up front we get 33mm diameter telescopic forks. At the back we get gas filled twin spring loaded hydraulic type shocks, and the ride quality is quite plush and comfortable. Talking about the wheels and tires, the good news is that we do get tubeless tires. We get an 18-inch wheel with 90 by 90 tire up front and a 16-inch wheel with a 120 by 80 tire at the back. The tread pattern is quite interesting in that though we do not expect extreme off-roading from it, I'm pretty damn sure that it will take you through mud roads and dirt roads quite effortlessly. Other noteworthy specs include a ground clearance of 165mm, which is quite impressive. Seat height is 780mm, which is a sheer delight for shorter riders. Fuel tank capacity is 13 liters. The bike is available in two stunning colors, namely pearl white and ebony black, and I've covered both of them for you in this video. Talking about the mileage claim, there's no official mileage claim as such. Now I keep saying this, that extracting best mileage depends on the way we ride, so please go through my mileage tips link mentioned in the description portion below. I am a former Pulsar 150 owner and that bike used to offer me around 58 kmpl, so I think with the V15 weighing in at just 135.5 kgs, one can easily expect around 55 kmpl if ridden sensibly. Price ex-showroom Delhi is Rs 62,000. Overall, I think this bike is here to stay and is going to wreak havoc not only in its price range but also a notch higher. So that's pretty much it. I just hope you enjoyed watching this video. Until next time, this is Dino saying ciao, take care, God bless and ride safe.